Welcome back, guys. I'm Mike Burrows from StanceWorks, and we are back once again working on the Honda-swapped Ferrari project. And today I've finally got an intermediate shaft. This is kind of the last thing we've been waiting on to make some progress on the back end with respect to fabrication. And I guess I probably need to explain why this thing is relevant and how it's going to help us, because with this, we can finally position the engine where it needs to be. And that will be the last thing we need to do before we start doing some tube work in the back end. And I'm hopeful that this episode we will get 2, maybe even 4 tubes put in place in the back. And that means that's kind of the last thing we've got to do before we actually build those engine mounts we've been talking about since all those episodes ago. And it's about time, because we are, I think, 22 episodes into this thing at this point. So with that, I'll quit yapping. Let's put this thing into the car and get to measuring. So the importance of this shaft, as mentioned, is because we needed to center the engine. And if you aren't familiar with what this shaft is, it's called an intermediate shaft, and it comes out of the transmission to the passenger side of the car. And in all, it allows the driver and passenger side axles of what is originally a front-wheel drive car to be equal in length. And that's something that we want. Now, are they perfectly equal in length? No. Factory RSX axles, for example, are I think about an inch in difference. So it's not perfect, but that's more related to the axle than this itself. I want this because I want to measure from this output seal to the chassis. And then I want to measure from the output seal on the opposite side of the transmission to the chassis and use those to center up the car, because my custom axles riding on this and in the transmission should therefore be pretty much equal in length. Now, it's probably not the most accurate way to do it, but it's plenty accurate enough, especially for what we're doing, and that's how I'm gonna roll with it. So, let's take this, get it in the car, and start measuring. With the intermediate shaft installed in the car, I got everything else organized to get some work done. And this was partially fun because it's another opportunity to use this new gantry, which I figured would probably work a lot better for this job than trying to work around the engine hoist that is straddling the back of the car. Unsurprisingly, that turned out to be true, and it made this part of the work pretty easy to do. As far as what I'm actually getting done here, it's really just a kind of slow and steady game of trying to move the 300-pound engine around, back and forth, getting it level, getting it square, plumb, and getting it right where I want it to be in the engine bay, fractions of an inch at a time. In this view, you can see me move it just little bit by little bit, or at least try to, although sometimes it moves a lot more than I expected it to. Once I got it really close to where I wanted it to be, I grabbed out some rulers, some straight edges, and got to squaring everything up. So I've got this thing positioned within about a 1/16 of an inch side to side. That's about 1.5 millimeters for my friends everywhere else in the world. And I might fine tune it a little bit more later, but honestly, that's more than accurate and enough. And it's going to give me everything I need to know for making engine mounts at this point. And I know that a lot of you guys are probably watching and wondering what really changed. I mean, what have I learned by moving this engine around? You probably can't even tell that it's in a different place. Well, to be honest, I always kind of assumed that this output flange was going to be way further outboard on the engine, maybe closer to something like out here, several inches longer, which meant that the engine was going to have to go substantially further towards the driver's side of the car. It would center it up a lot more in the engine bay. This will be pretty well balanced. If anything, it's ideal that it's offset towards the passenger side instead of the driver's side. So now that it's here, I can kind of rest assured knowing I can build things around it without interfering with it. So let me show you guys what I'm thinking. So if you haven't seen the previous episodes, we've discussed that this here is the factory engine mount, and it comes off of the cylinder head. With the engine positioned here, I can take a look at kind of where some of our current chassis structure is, where this is, and how those meet. And what I've finally decided upon is I want to beef up the structure of the back of the car. I think adding a tube from this junction down here up to the backside, if we can get you guys to see it, the backside of this mount. So the whole weight of the car is supported right here. This is where the coilover goes and comes down to the lower control arm. And while this beam here I wouldn't really call majorly structural, this point I suppose is, given the fact that it's boxed in bigger here, and then it has members that come down here, and then one previously here and then down below, but we've gotten rid of those for the moment. But I think not boxing in, but reinforcing from this side of the mount down to the corner of the car is not only going to make the back of the car substantially more rigid, it will reinforce this, and with a properly sized tube, it will cross paths just above this engine mount and will give us a really good way to start coming from that tube to here. Now I'll probably need to do something else to that tube, probably kind of tie in another diagonal from here up or something of the sort, because, you know, hanging an engine from the middle of the tube isn't going to be enough. But it's going to get us started, it's going to work for the time being, and I think it's going to do a lot for the back end structure of the car. I had to get all the metal inside of the car prepped for welding, and that meant getting rid of the underbody coating, the primer, paint, and any of the grime that was in the way. My camera batteries, as normal, died partway through this process, but you'll have to believe me when I say I just got everything cleaned up as you'd expect me to. From there, it's the same process of fitting a tube, just cutting bit by bit and test fitting over and over again. I didn't do the best job of time-lapsing this whole process because I was pretty focused on just getting the job done. All right, so here's where I'm at the moment, and this tube's fitting really well. The gaps down here are absolutely perfect. I've decided on this joint that it's sitting on as opposed to kind of this outside flat one, because it turns out this flat one is really thin sheet metal just used to kind of support part of the gas tank and the fender, versus this round one is bona fide chassis material. So we're going to connect into that node so it's touching the crossbar and this diagonal. It'll be a really strong point. And up here, it fits really nicely against our flat chassis rail up top. I'm kind of weighing out a decision about whether or not to redo this tube and have it intersect both the rail that it's on now as well as the suspension mount, but I want to make sure I can still get a washer and a bolt in there, or a nut rather. And I also have to make sure that if it takes up this room, I can still get it into place. It might be too long to do so. However, I'm out of tube at the moment. This is my last one, and I didn't plan ahead for this weekend very well, which is a bummer, because that's going to cut me short. I can't cut another tube right now to find out which I prefer, or if something like this even works. A quick look up top before I call it a day, just so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. And it really looks good in there. I know it's probably kind of hard to see. It's kind of dark and there's not a ton of space. But overall, I'm happy with this. It crosses right where I want it to, in front of the engine mount that we need. And like I said, I think this is going to be a really strong solution to add rigidity to the chassis. This is going to do us a lot of good. So, with all that, I gotta stop for the day. I'm pretty bummed about it. I don't have any more tube. All the tubing places are closed. It's Sunday afternoon, it's about 3 o'clock. Makes for a very short day of fabrication. So I will pick up here tomorrow. Yeah, they're doing construction right outside. So I don't know how much I'll be talking to you guys today, but it's about 8 a.m. And I went to the metal supply place. I got material, and I'm ready to start cutting. So I'll put you guys on the tripod, and we'll time lapse while I make some progress. I began the day with redoing the tube on the passenger side of the car. I had decided that I really just wanted it to fit the way I imagined in my head, and it was worth starting over once again. right, so I redid this tube. It fits real nice down here. Fits even better once I hold the tube up in place, but that's hard to do with one hand. And I got it sitting up against the mount over here. I wanted to kind of get it bisecting both of these a bit more, but it turned out I just couldn't get the tube into place. It would be too long in order to do that. So I'm gonna call this a victory. Means I need to get all the paint taken off of this stuff, which is of course gonna be a ton of fun, but I will do that. Get a little bit more cleaned up down here, make sure it's all ready to go, and then either tack it into place or move on to the other side for the time being. There you go. I moved to the other side of the car, and that began with cutting tabs off of that side of the chassis. Following that came the cleanup. And then on to duplicating the tube from the other side. So they're still doing construction outside. A little bit quieter at the moment. I've got the second tube into place. I'm happy with it. It fits really well. That's both sides done, aside from, actually welding them in, but I got, everything cleaned up, as you guys saw. And now I'm kind of trying to weigh the decision about, should I pull the engine out and tack those into place? There's a lot of other tubes that I'd like to do, but most everything else kind of involves taking the engine back out. I'd like to start kind of designing some engine mounts, at least off of this passenger side tube, before I go and move it again, even though it's not that hard to put it back into place. It's kind of a conundrum. So just like the rest of the last 2 days, there's been just a lot of standing here and thinking about it. So presumably after this cuts, I'll move on to doing whatever I've done after I finish thinking about it. Obviously, I decided to pull the engine. I just wanted more access to everything in the engine bay and figured it's really just not that hard to put things back in, especially with this gantry. Alright, so I've got 2 tubes into place, and I went on and moved the engine out of the way to give myself some more access. I took some measurements, and it'll be pretty easy to get back in there and line back up, but now you guys can actually see these tubes I've been working on. They're just kind of sitting there. I haven't welded them in or anything, but I'm really happy with how they're in there, how they're looking. I'm really excited about how stiff I think these are going to make the chassis in contrast to how it was. And they're going to be really good for kind of hanging an engine off of once we get some more support in there. I think what I'm going to do next is get out some cardboard and draw up some kind of gusset plates that I want to put in here that are going to help kind of spread the load across this beam that's up here that you can't see because it's dark. But because there's got to be an engine mount sort of in the middle of this tube, so to speak, I want to kind of help spread some of the load of that. And so I think the first thing I'm going to do is draw some triangular gussets, and we'll kind of make them ornate. I'm going to get those laser cut, I believe. So let's get out some cardboard. We'll draw those up, and then I think next on the list is getting this tube that we cut out. So from here back up. Originally it came here, so I needed to get the engine out of the way to cut off kind of these leftover bits. We got to grind all this down. And then I got some matching square tubing since the round tube won't fit, but we'll get some new ones cut and put back up here. That might be for next episode though. We'll have to see. Let's get some cardboard out. My overall goal here is just to draw a gusset that can go into place in this angle that the tube makes. And the idea behind it is to have something that will support the engine mount and the weight of the engine as it hangs from this tube. I got to drawing some holes that I thought maybe could be dimple dies, but maybe not. Let's take this cardboard back to the computer and draw some stuff up so you guys can get an idea of what I'm thinking of. I took my cardboard template and drew it up in CAD so that I could have this part laser cut, which this is definitely buildable by hand and I could just cut it out. But I'm imagining some really cool kind of cutouts, some ways to make this piece more ornate, and doing that with some water jetting or plasma cutting will go a long way towards just giving me a nicer finished product. So I'm thinking about some holes or something kind of like what you see here, or maybe I'll go with something round, but this is at least proof of concept. All right, and with that stuff drawn up, I'm calling this episode done. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe. That stuff helps me out a ton. If you're interested, there is a Patreon to support this StanceWorks channel. Feel free to check it out. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next episode. Thanks again.